Jazzcast Pros. In 2025, running a small business means more than keeping the lights on. It's navigating cashless payments, spotting fraud threats and scammers, and making payroll, even when there's too much month at the end of the money. Today, we're talking to a financial expert about how to build a real relationship with your banker so that you can protect your cash flow, tap into hidden funding opportunities, and grow with confidence, even in this fast-changing economy. This week, I'm happy to introduce you to Melissa Jordan. She is the Vice President and Senior Relationship Business Manager, helping business owners strengthen their financial foundations, protect their revenue, and position themselves for growth. Welcome to Elevating Enterprise, the podcast that gives you a 100,000-foot view of success,
so you can see exactly what it takes to grow and sustain your business. I'm RJ Williams, and I spent years working with SMEs, scaling operations and securing contracts.
And I'm Jazzy T, and our mission is to connect you to industry gatekeepers and open doors that will elevate your small business. Subscribe and join us as we elevate enterprises, starting with yours. And today we're talking about how to build a real business relationship with your banker. And so along for the ride with us today, we have Melissa Jordan from M&T Bank. Melissa, can you give us your elevator pitch, please?
I am an experienced professional and trusted advisor supporting small businesses in our Rochester community, and I'm all about building relationships, working closely with business owners to help them meet their financial goals, provide tailored solutions for cash management, fraud protection, and access to capital.
Nice. And along with me on this elevator ride is RJ Williams. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone.
So, Melissa, what does it mean to have a relationship with your bank? Like, I have a business banking account. Doesn't that mean I just put my money in there and that's it?
Well, it could, but really what a relationship with your bank means is having a dedicated partner who understands the industry and your business. And at M&T, every business customer is paired with either a branch manager or a relationship manager like myself, and they serve as a single point of contact that takes all the guesswork out of who should you call in for what. You know, a relationship really goes beyond the transaction. We are a key part of your small business, connecting you to resources that can help you meet your financial goals.
And you did mention, having different resources. And so we will talk about like lending and stuff like that, because I think that's one of the first things that people will think of is, okay, I go to the bank to get a loan. But what are some of the resources that you offer?
Yeah. You have your basic business banking package that I like to think of it as like a checking account, a savings account, a debit card, your online banking. That would be like basic that every business owner should have. You want to keep your personal and your business separate. So you would have separate accounts for all of that. But then it's important to have an understanding really of how money moves in and out of your business to maximize the return. So understanding how you receive payments, protecting the money while it's there, and then how you pay vendors. So once I have an understanding of that with my clients, then I can make recommendations on products and services to help them manage accounts payables, receivables, and protect them from fraud. The other thing that people might look at would be like a commercial card program to help streamline employee and vendor expense reporting and credit transactions while receiving rebates and cash rewards in rewards programs. It's also important for every business to have access to capital. That's very important. So whether it be a line of credit to help with short-term working capital needs, equipment lines, which are handy for your ongoing asset purchases, or there's even term loans and commercial mortgages. There really is so many different types of lending products out there. It's best just to have a conversation with your banker to see what's best for you.
What triggers eligibility for a small business to receive maybe a line of credit? Maybe is that through accounts receivable? Do you determine that? Or is it per project? Or how do you determine if someone is eligible for that?
You mean which product that they would need?
Yes, such as a line of credit.
Well, it really depends on the purpose. So I always talk about sources and uses of money, how you're going to use the funds. So a loan might be used as a one-time asset purchase, like for an equipment or a vehicle, Or maybe you need an equipment line for on-demand purchases, like you need a fleet of vans at any point in time, so you would need an equipment line. Lines of credit, though, are short-term working capital needs, meaning less than 12 months that you would pay it back. It's like a revolving line where you borrow, pay it back. Then you have corporate cards that can manage expenses, earn rewards and rebates. Again, it's really evaluating your client's needs and choosing the options that's right for them. That's why it's so important to meet with your banker regularly and have these credit conversations before you apply, because you want to make sure you're getting the best solution for you and your company. Oftentimes, folks will just say, I need a line of credit, but that's not really what they need. So I really like to spend some time understanding the uses of the funds and how you plan on using the money. Also, just having that credit conversation. What types of capital needs do you think you're going to have, whether it's working capital or permanent capital in the next 12 months? Mm-hmm. So we want to also be planning strategically and making sure that we're going to be able to meet those needs when you have it.
You also mentioned there some of the services that a lot of small businesses and solopreneurs find on an app like QuickBooks, for an example. So it's really exciting to hear that a bank can actually take some of those expenses away from us. Because, anybody who knows QuickBooks knows not only do you pay every month, but then you're paying them a per transaction fee and all of that type of stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you can, as far as what you would refer a small business who is taking in, invoices or swiping credit cards, merchant services, stuff like that.
Yeah. So again, it goes back to that whole cash flow conversation. How money's coming in, how you're accepting payments, and how you're protecting your funds when it's there in your accounts, and then how you're paying your vendors. There's so many automations of receivables and payables because it creates efficiencies and it creates integration maybe into other systems that you have. And it really helps with your whole customer's experience, offering those flexibility of ways to accept payments and then to also pay others. Really, we find there's a trend that people are getting away from checks altogether. Mm-hmm. They're looking for that, optimizing the automation to improve their client's experience, give the flexibility they need, just because there is so many ways that you can accept payments and make payments. We like to think that banking should be a small portion of any business owner's day, so it frees them up for time and resources to meet their company's goals and not be spending a lot of time on their banking. So we try to make that easy for them. I can't say any one solution is the best solution or the only solution. There's so many. And again, it's understanding where you are currently and where you want to go and taking the customer there in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just say, for instance, I was a new client of yours. Is there a different department that you would send me to talk about like merchant services?
So going back to the beginning of our conversation, the single point of contact, as your relationship manager, I'm the person that manages the relationship, understands your business, talks about trends, understands your needs. And then based on what I hear that you need, I will connect and pull in the right resources at the bank. I have so many business partners that I work with at M&T. I really try to understand what's important to you and your needs and then pull that partner in. So, I work with someone that handles all our treasury management that's a specialist. I have a merchant services specialist, a corporate card specialist. If you're looking on succession planning or maximizing returns on investments, I have specialists that help in that. But me being your single point of contact as your relationship manager, again, going back to having a relationship, I know what's important to you because I understand your business and I pull in the right resources that are the true specialists in that area to address your needs and then follow up to make sure all your expectations were met.
That's amazing. I love that because nobody likes to run around.
No, that's for sure.
So, Melissa, does M&T have any programs or a special approach to when they handle small businesses?
Yeah. So, M&T is a people-driven and community-focused organization. We offer lots of different financing solutions and have so many partnerships with local organizations that support small businesses. Our goal at M&T is to foster a culture of belonging and help all business owners succeed. And we do have programs for everybody.
Great. So I'm a small service-based, construction-based business, project-based business. and it's for a certain dollar amount, and maybe to manage payroll or something, we need to extend a line of credit during that project. Would you be the person we negotiate that something with? Or?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the main point of contact for any lending needs. Your relationship manager, business banker, sometimes we're called. We're the main point of contact for any lending needs. And whether that's short-term working capital that you need or permanent capital that you need, we're the main point of contact that you would have. Again, understanding the full scope of the project, maybe looking at some projections, business tax returns, your personal tax returns, a current balance sheet, profit and loss statement, things like that. We'd have a conversation around.
Okay, excellent. I wanted to kind of phrase that around an actual, you know what I'm saying, case scenario. Where would the match be? But thank you for answering that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of a specific example, do you have any success stories? Because M&T Bank is always out in the community. You're always reaching out. Is there any success story that you could share with us of someone who's come to you and you're able to maybe help them grow or sustain?
Yeah. For client confidentiality, I can't give names, but I can say that I have helped a lot of startups grow into multi-location organizations. I've been doing this for over 21 years. So been out in the community a lot, working with our community partners to bring solutions to clients. So whether it's a startup business, just, looking to turn a hobby into their business, or they've had a dream and they want to fulfill it, I work with those startups to make that happen through maybe our SBA lending programs. Or if they're an existing client and they want to grow, or I've been doing this long enough where people are getting ready to sell to somebody else or pass it over to the next generation, working with them every step of the way, again, being that trusted advisor and building those relationships, whether it's with the current owners, the future owners. And then again, I keep saying this, I know, but having a relationship with your banker and having that proper planning in place is the key to any business's success. And RJ, just, going back to what you said with solutions, there are so many partners. I mean, M&T is full of resources. We have a ton of resources at our bank that we can connect you with, but we also have solutions within the community. There's a lot of people out there that help small businesses with business plans and projections and mentoring programs, credit workshops, just workshops in general, networking opportunities. This role, really as a relationship manager, I like to think of myself as a community connector, connecting people with folks that can help take their organization to the next level. So perhaps in the example that you gave me, I would pull in some of those partners that we work with. I find it can be confusing because we're so blessed to have so many resources in Rochester that I can help you navigate to make sure you get the right resources to help with your project and meet your business's goals.
Great. And then as far as you said, startup, now when you build that relationship, does that startup have to do its business locally in order to be eligible? Or is it something of building a company or a solution?
Yeah, well, it really depends. So M&T has a large footprint that we cover, like from Maine all the way down to, I want to say like Northern Virginia area. So we have quite the footprint. We might coordinate working with one of the offices or relationship managers there, because the way we operate in Rochester is the way we operate in all of our footprints, with that team approach, with the specialists in the various fields, a branch manager and a relationship manager. So it all depends. We do also have remote relationship managers that just take in calls from folks that are interested in SBA lending. So we do have a group of people, a team that works on those. So we'll make sure if someone was to come to me and if it was something I couldn't do, I definitely connect them to the right person and follow up. We just want to make sure we do what's best for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that all sounds great. Now let's talk about something a little scary, and let's talk about fraud protection. A situation where it's all of a sudden, there's charges on my account that I have no idea where they come from. Like, how does M&T Bank offer that peace of mind for small businesses today, where we're counting every dollar and we're expecting our money to be there and to be accessible to us? So how would you help me in a situation like that?
Yeah, fraud, it's critical. We always say it's not a matter of if, it's when you're going to have fraud. It all starts really with education and making sure we're educating our clients on industry trends, what we're seeing, how they can protect themselves. And then making sure when it comes to checks in ACH that they're protecting their accounts from those types of frauds that happen. Again, a single point of contact is your relationship manager or your branch manager. They're meeting with you regularly to communicate this and educate you on all the different types of frauds that we're seeing. And again, understanding how you take payments in and then how you pay people, making recommendations on fraud services that are going to fit your needs now, but then also services that can take you into the future of where you're going with your business as it grows. That's where it's very important that we know our customers, because there's a lot of email impersonations. If you get a client request that comes in digitally, making sure that we're verbally confirming, because I have all my customers' numbers and emails. And, if someone emails me something, I verbally confirm it with them. So, technology can be great, but it's something to be respected and navigate very carefully around. So when we get some type of request that comes in digitally, we're always verifying it verbally and talking with our customers.
So as far as M&T Bank being community focused, because you mentioned that a couple of times. So what kind of programs or maybe local events are coming up or have you been a part of? Like, give us some examples.
Actually, our Women's Leadership Resource Group, we're going to be hosting September 16th at 3 City Center on the first floor, Business Owner Spotlight Shop, where we have some of our small business customers coming in to showcase their business and sell their merchandise. And then we're also having some of those community partners that I referenced, like the Financial Empowerment Center, SCORE, the SBA, the Rock Women's Business Center, the SUNY SBDC, and I'm probably leaving out some others, but we have numerous community partners that are going to be there to support our small businesses. And that's open to the community from 2 to 5.
Nice.
Yeah. So we do that with our employee resource groups. And then also, as far as community, it's very important. It's the heart of what M&T is, giving back to the community, whether it's through our charitable foundation or through employees. They get 40 hours a year to volunteer in the community, which is huge. Not many organizations offer that.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And so how does that work as an employee? Do you just do your own research and find a place, or does M&T actually intake opportunities for people who are looking for volunteers?
Yeah.
How does that work?
All of that. A lot of employees have a charity or a place that they're passionate about helping and supporting, like through the Women's Resource Group. And we have a veterans group. I mean, there's numerous resource groups that we have, but we will all put out there volunteer opportunities that you can participate in. Junior Achievement has a lot of them. We do a lot of different walks in the area. Operation Christmas Child.
So where do you like to spend your time?
Actually, I head up the Operation Christmas Child, bell ringing with the Salvation Army. We also do Valentine's cards for St. Anne's Nursing Home. And then I head up doing the business spotlight shop with another coworker of mine. So those are where I spend a lot of my time, but actually I'm out in the community a lot doing workshops, presentations for whether it's the county, the city, or some of the community partners that I referenced on business banking 101, credit management, financial reporting. So I do a lot of that. A lot. So I'm out in the community a lot. So it's part of my job, but it's also volunteering my time where it's wherever who wants me to speak and share the knowledge that I have.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I think sometimes banks do get a bad rep, but you're proving it's not like that. You're out in the community. You want to give back. You want to share of your own free time to be able to help and your 20 years of knowledge and doing workshops. Actually, we met at a diversity, supplier diversity summit here in Rochester, New York, where you were just giving freely of your knowledge. And I said, this is definitely somebody that we need to get on the podcast to be able to share some of this knowledge. It's just so much, information that I think that small businesses can use. So if you have a business that feels like they're ready to scale, they got their basic accounts, all set up and everything, but they're kind of unsure what financial step to take in order to open up another location. Could you give either a specific example or just some general financial advice?
Yeah, they definitely want to reach out and connect with their banker before they do anything, because you don't want to grow too fast and you want to make sure. So a lot of times it's referenced as a B.A.I.L team, where you have your banker, your accountant, your insurance representative, and then you have your legal, your attorney. So it's important to have all those team of professionals, trusted advisors on the same page, working with you, helping you scale your business and make sure you're ready for those next steps. Because I would hate to see someone grow too fast. Maybe they're not ready. So it's important that you understand your financial reports, you understand your cash flow, and you have a solid plan in place for that growth, whether it's adding another location or pivoting and starting another part of your business. It's important that you plan. So you want to have those conversations before you react, because you just have to trust that those people that you've involved as your team of professionals, that they have your back, they know your business, they know their industry and trade, and they can give you the best advice and solutions and connect you with the right resources to get to where you want to go.
Have you had a client where it's like, no, I do everything myself. I am the accountant. I am the attorney. She's laughing, so I know you have.
Yeah.
And so how do you gently guide them into delegating some of those roles?
Well, there usually comes a point in time where they definitely see that they need it, but it's, I make referrals, usually give them 2 or 3 names of people they can talk to. It's like shopping for a doctor. You want to make sure it's a good fit for you, and just re-emphasizing the importance of those 4 different roles, their B.A.I.L team.
I love that, by the way, the B.A.I.L team.
Yeah.
Who's going to bail you out?
A lot of the different community partners use that, the B.A.I.L team. But it's important that you're working with all of them and they understand your business, because you're really good at your business, your trade, what you do, your product, but you need help with that bookkeeping usually, because you're so busy being everything, the operations manager, maybe when you're first starting out, the salesperson, your payroll, your HR, your everything. So it's important that you surround yourself with a team of professionals, or you might call it your personal board of directors, that can help you navigate through business, because it definitely is a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a journey, and there's lots of twists and turns. So you need the expertise. And, my secret sauce, people tell me, is consistency, and community connecting. So I just consistently do that. I talk to my customers, I educate them, I connect them, and I think it eventually clicks.
No, that's excellent. What are some of the trends you've seen the last 5-6 years since the pandemic in small business?
Gosh, there's been so many. A lot of businesses are operating more in a hybrid model. Lots of businesses have done hybrid, where they don't need maybe as much workspace as they had before, because they have people working from home and then maybe they come into the office certain days. I really think it's advanced technology. Not that it wasn't there before, because it always was, but more and more of my customers don't need to walk into a branch. They can do their financial management anywhere. So whether they're scanning in their checks, doing mobile deposits, doing ACH, doing wires, they can do it all right from wherever they are, whether that's in the office or on the back deck at their house, wherever. They can manage their banking from anywhere. That technology was always there, and the trend was going in that direction, but it's really sped up. Most of my clients have payables and receivable technology solutions, and it's automated just the way they do business. They become more accepting of it. And even like meetings, you meet in person, but I can talk to more customers. They're more open to online meetings, whether, Zoom, Teams, we have WebEx. I can talk to so many more customers than I could before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll admit, I was one of those very leery of using you said like scanning the checks. And I did it for the first time last week, because I got to the bank at 4:01, and that's okay. So like, even that, like, to me, it just seemed strange. Like I was curious, and I was also worried, if I scan this check, but it doesn't actually process, does it then void it out? Like, do I get to go in the bank the next day? Like, I don't know. I was still a little bit worried about that.
Yeah, well, we train our clients on our remote check scanning system. And then they also have, besides the training, they have the call support. You can see in your batches what's actually getting sent to M&T. And then using your online systems, you're able to see the transactions. So I think you said you only did it the one time last week. You'll be a pro in no time at it.
Yeah, because it did work. It did work.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is, so I tried to use the ATM. The ATM wouldn't accept the check. So I said, okay, last resort. I'm going to take a picture of it, see if this happens. And this was at a different bank. Like I said, this was before I had moved over to M&T Bank. So, but one of those reasons where I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and switch my banking, because I was frustrated at that particular situation. I was like, why is it not taking my check? It's not scanning in the ATM, but it did work taking a photo of it. And I absolutely agree. During the pandemic, it forced a lot of us to do things differently. If we always, wrote a check, or we always wanted to, I don't know, even pay in cash, and suddenly, cashless this, cashless that. Okay, well, let me embrace some of this digital technology. Just send the invoice and they could just send it back, or, let them swipe it themselves without me having to touch their cards. And I feel like banking was definitely one of those things that the pandemic pushed over the hump, when you couldn't walk into the bank anymore. What was that time like for you and for your clients? I mean, it was 5 years ago now, but I'm sure it's still fresh in your mind.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy times. I just want to point out, before I answer that question, another change that happened was, I think businesses understand now the importance of working capital to manage short-term cash flow needs, just because you don't know what the future is going to bring, a pandemic or other crisis that's going to happen. It's important to have that working capital available to you for when you need it. So,
absolutely.
Businesses that might have said, or organizations, no, we don't need a working capital line, we're all good. That was definitely a telling time. That's
a pre-pandemic statement.
You can't predict the future, right? During that time, we were so busy helping businesses with PPP loans, providing, we were an essential business, so we were open, but being able to service our customers. We also did a lot of outreach calls to our clients, just checking in on them, personal and business customers, checking in, how you doing? How can we help? Connecting them to different resources that we had in the bank or departments if they had specific concerns about their accounts or loans that they might have with us. So we tried to be a resource to our customers, because none of us have been through this. It was scary, and just try to be that relationship bank.
Wow, that's nice. It's comforting to hear that you were actually making outgoing calls, even though you were being flooded with incoming calls, I'm sure.
Yeah, the customers were surprised, when you just call them saying, I'm checking in with you, see how you're doing, how can we help? Because people were in their homes, maybe they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
So again, navigating through that. How do I make my payments? Who can I talk to if I can't make my payments, So, all of that, just trying to be there for them. Cause, I always say, when life happens, I hope that I'm always the call that they make in the morning as their trusted advisor to help them get through whatever it is that they're facing.
Amazing. Finally, if someone listening right now wants to start their relationship with M&T Bank, what should they do this week?
Reach out and connect. I personally would love to meet with anybody. I love to learn more about businesses and business owners, see where they're at currently with their business, and then help them and connect them with taking them where they want to go. You also can go into any M&T branch, or you can go to mtb.com and connect with a banker there. If you're a current customer and you happen to not know who your banker is, again, going into any branch, or you can reach out to me and I can tell you who you're assigned to. And if you're new to the bank, just connecting, either way, we schedule an appointment with you to learn more about you and your business and see how we can support you.
Awesome. So they would walk into the bank or call the bank. Is there a particular way that you like to connect with people, like whether it's email or phone number or LinkedIn?
All of that. I have my QR code. I don't know if you still have it.
Yeah.
My cell phone, 585-734-7026. or my email. You have that, majordan@mtb.com.
Beautiful. And we will have all of that information in the show notes as well. Any last words of advice or anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to mention, Melissa?
Oh, gosh. I think we covered a lot. I don't know how many times I've said relationship.
Well, that's what this is all about.
Yeah. Don't go it alone. Meet regularly with your trusted advisors, your B.A.I.L team, talk to people who understand your business, the industry, and then can help you map out a plan to get you to where you want to go. Whether that's managing cash flow, funding, risk management, everybody's here to help you. And just know there's a ton of resources out in Rochester community that can help you get your business to the next level.
Thanks for joining us, Melissa, and for reinforcing that a great banker doesn't just open your account. They help protect your profits, streamline your operations, and anticipate business challenges before they become crises. One of my favorite anecdotes from today's conversation is about building your B.A.I.L team, your banker, accountant, insurance rep, and lawyer, because we all need someone to bail us out. On top of that, here are 3 key takeaways from this conversation. Number 1, choose a banker, not just a bank. Look for someone who takes the time to understand your business, your challenges, and your vision for growth. Number 2, your bank can offer merchant services. From payment processing to mobile deposits, these tools can help improve your cash flow, reduce delays, and make it easier for customers to pay you. Number 3, make fraud protection a priority. With scams and cyber attacks on the rise, a bank that offers proactive fraud monitoring and security tools is worth its weight in gold. You'll find links to M&T's small business banking solutions down in the show notes. Also, and the sponsor index at jazzcastpros.com. So if this episode sparked new ideas for you, be sure to follow Elevating Enterprise and share it with someone ready to think bigger and move smarter, because success isn't overnight, it's strategic.